Hello, today we will see how carbon paper and tracing paper can be used to transfer an image. This black paper is a thin paper coated with carbon, and this is tracing paper with already drawn image on it. So to transfer this onto another surface, which is my sketchbook, I need to put the carbon paper under the tracing paper. I have to be sure that the tracing paper doesn't move, so I get the drawing exactly where I want. You can tape it to make sure that it doesn't move. In my case, because I have a lot of practice, so I can do fine even without putting the tape on it because I know where I want it. So you have to see uh, what are you going to use to run your drawing on. Uh, it's important that you know what you're going to use to trace the drawing on the other surface to transfer. Now I first took the brush and I thought I'll use that, but it was too wide and the lines wouldn't have come as fine as I wanted them. So best is either a ballpoint pen or like I'm using this pencil because the pointed or sharp pencil is going to give me the exact lines that I need. I'm not going to trace the whole drawing, it's just to show you how fine lines I'll get. I am putting some pressure on the surface so I get the line the way I want. If you put less pressure, you're not going to get line dark enough to see properly. Now, for this tracing is the first step on the tracing paper. You have to know that tracing paper is this semi-transparent and carbon is the black one. So now here I got what I wanted. Now if I didn't have the carbon paper, what's the other way I can do it? I can turn this tracing paper into not exactly a carbon paper, but using the tracing paper itself, covering with I can coat the tracing paper with graphite. So this is going to help me to get the impression on the sketchbook. So let's try the small part here. Now I'm trying to adjust it where I want. So I have to be careful. I don't want to create mess on my colors that I have done on my sketchbook. So I'll put enough pressure to get the lines as I want, but not too much that it will damage the surface of the sketchbook. So little pressure, enough to get the marks. So I'll do this small part only and a little bit fine lines, so you can see that it works same as carbon paper. Carbon paper is easy because you don't damage your tracing paper, but here if you see, so it's dark enough, same as carbon paper, maybe a little bit less, but good enough that you can see. Let me show you the close-up so you know that how it looks, the carbon paper drawing and the drawing that was done with the tracing paper. So another method is using any chalk medium. This can be hard pastel, this can be soft pastel. I'm using here the harder one because see, since it's kind of powdery, you can see how it falls here on my hand, and then you can imagine the mess it can create on your work. since I have done my illustration under it and I have to add up to it, so I have to be careful using any material or medium that can actually make it messy. So I will not recommend this for the work. See? So another method of transferring a design or a pattern is the one that usually in Asia the block print artisans are using. In this, they just make holes in the paper, like punching the paper and making the design or transferring the design. This method is quite commonly used, so I thought I'll do it for you as well. As you can see, this pattern here. So what I'm going to do is I'll punch hole. The hole can be done with the needle. It can be done with pins or anything that is pointed or sharp enough to make holes like this, if you can see. So you continue making these holes with pin or needle all around the lines. With these, you can put it on the fabric. In my case, I'm going to put it on a paper. So you can see these holes here. It's same like, I can give you example like this. Um, it's something like, you can say, like the writing for the blind. It's similar to that. So now I'm using charcoal. So the powder has passed through the punched holes, and you can see how it has transferred in the form of dots. So this is another way to transfer your work from one surface to the other. So you can see. So this is a common thing that I see here. Now there is another way of getting a design or a pattern or a drawing, whatever you want, onto another surface. Now you can take any window or any place which has very strong light coming from the back. You can place your uh, design on top of it, and then you can simply trace it, and then you can transfer it, again using carbon paper or any other paper. Then you can also use light box. You can place your design on top of it. You can place your actual paper on which you want the design to be, and then simply trace it. And then if you want to paint or do whatever you want, so one image transferred to the other. So these are the few ways, few techniques, some with tracing and transferring, and some simply copying onto another surface. So transferring, but without using any other paper in between. I hope this video was helpful. If you want to know anything about it or any other details, feel free to write me and I will get back to you. Thanks for watching.